God damn. And look, the other car, it stops, but the Tesla doesn't. So I wonder what happened. Maybe Tesla don't like kids because they're not paying customers. What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Chat with Jat. Today I'm just going to be kicking it, going through whatever I see on Reddit, reading the news, so nothing too formal. It is the 9th of August and it is 8:45 p.m. So I just want to give you a quick update on what's going on. I recently started my CPA consulting business, or my consulting business, where I offer a variety of services, and it's been interesting. I've had a few calls with a lot of different companies. I think we will see if there's going to be some deals made this week. Um, I also got to see the business module of a lot of people. Like, if you get a referral from somebody, they usually eat off your plate as well. So let's say, you're charging, I don't know, let's say $100 an hour. The rate is probably like 120, and the person who hooked you up with the deal, they're going to be eating $20 and you're going to be eating 100. So it's totally fine. That's how the world works. Eventually, I will be able to land my own deals. And I think I will very soon. I just haven't really actively marketed myself amongst my network. I am going to wait, maybe 12 months or 6 to 12 months, and I'm just going to work off of what I can get through my contacts. And when you work through contacts, and obviously your contacts are eating, and that's just business, and that's totally fine. If I still pull in like $100 an hour through these gigs, I think it should be fair enough. I have a simple life. I'm not someone who's super sophisticated. I don't have crazy bills to pay. Everything's usually covered, so I should be okay. So let's see what happens. Ideally, my goal is in the next 12 months, I'll be billing like $150 to $200 an hour. And I will be working on my tax business, which I usually set up to be about $100 to $120 an hour based on my projects. So I'm going to see where this takes me. I'm actually very excited. I'm glad that I'm doing it. It's now or never type of thing, because it's so easy to have a family, kids, then you have bills, you got fixed commitments, you got to pay for daycare, blah blah blah, and you don't get time to experiment and try different things. So I'm doing all of that right now, and I'm grateful for that opportunity. So let's see what happens, and I'll keep you in the loop once I land my first deal. Apart from that, I have been flirting with the idea of going into real estate. Like, I've done all my research. I've spoken to other people who are also in the game, who are also CPAs, and they were like, yeah, it's totally plausible. You just got to manage the conflict of interest, which is super important. Like example, you shouldn't be someone who's practicing as a public accountant, in public accountancy, doing audits and then trying to offer mortgages to your clients, because then it's a conflict of interest, right? Like, you can't be auditing someone who then turns around and says, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna get a mortgage with you so you can get that, nice juicy commission on that deal, but you gotta make sure that the audit is clean. You know what I mean? So like that type of thing, I'm not doing audits, so I should be able to manage that conflict of interest, but you got to be mindful of those things. And it was actually funny when I went through the brochure, they talked about how there's different types of conflicts of interest, and some of them were super obvious. Like, if you're a judge or a police officer, you shouldn't be holding someone's life in your hands and suddenly be like, yeah, but maybe I'll let you go if you get that mortgage over there, and you let me arrange it for you. So that made like total sense. But the funniest one that I found was funeral director. And I asked myself, oh wow, what do funeral directors have to do with mortgage brokers? But then at the same time, I kind of saw it, it was slash mortgage broker slash insurance brokers. It's the same type of conflict of interest rules that you have to follow. So typically, if you're a funeral director, you don't want to be selling people insurance at the funeral home. You could be like, think you should get that life insurance because, your boy's gone, and life happens. So you want to sign up for this deal. So it's like, you would be preying on vulnerable people. So it makes total sense that they put in these controls to say, well, you shouldn't have those conflicts of interest. So I thought that was super cool. The program that I am looking at right now, it's gonna cost like something around $1,400, and you legit have 90 days to complete it. 90 days. After that, the modules, the lessons are all gone. So they say if you're doing it like part-time, 4 or 5 hours a day, you should be able to knock it out in about 60 days. Write your exam. You've passed the exam. You're blessed. You're done. You don't care. You move on. But if you're procrastinating and you're not doing it, then by the 90th day, it's gone forever and you have to repay. So this is where I'm like, I'm really, really, really interested in doing it. And I'm going to wait till this Saturday to see how these gigs line up. If I'm going to be booked, if I am going to be booked, I'm going to see who's booking me, determine the extent of work, and then decide if I'm going to pursue this side hustle, because I've always been passionate about real estate. It's been something that I've always wanted to mess with. And as someone who's, I have a few properties of my own that are rental properties, it's always been something that I always looked out for. And I've always known like, okay, well, this deal makes sense, that deal doesn't make sense. And with the tax planning that I can help people do, I think it would be like a win-win. And I say that because tax planning is everything. And there's a lot of things that I learned from like personal mistakes that I've made. Like, let's say you're buying a home and your home has like multiple owners. Then, you got to think about, okay, well, how much percentage does each owner have? And you got to plan in a way that it's a tax optimal situation, right? Like, let's say one owner is making 200K a year and the other owner is making zero. Then obviously you don't want to do 50-50. You want to do something like, oh yeah, the one making zero is 75% and the one making 200 is like 25%. So you mitigate, or even 1% to 99. So you can like mitigate how the revenue is shared, especially when it's siblings or brother sister. You can deal with it on the side. But for revenue sharing, like if you want to make it a tax optimal situation for the family, then that's how you would pursue it. You got to think about these things. Or if someone's going to exit from the deal in a few years, then you don't give them a lot of ownership of the property if they were going to be just a co-signer. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things you can do, and there's even like a lot more crazier stuff. Like if you want to sell your own house, but you love your house and you have your own corporation that's doing well because you're a doctor or you're a consultant or a lawyer or whatever, and your corporation has a lot of money parked in it, then the corporation can buy the house from you at fair market value. And then that means you get to do, principal residence exemption. You personally, you pay zero taxes because you lived in the house, you sold it to a corp. The corp then has your house. And if you want to stay living in it, then you can. And you just pay fair market value rent to the corp. And the corp can pay you out by doing a refi. They refi the house, get the cash, send it to you. And then the corporation deals with all the stuff of making monthly payments and whatever. And you can continue to live in it or continue to hold it down and rent it to somebody else. And then one day, if you want to move back to the house, you can. So there's like so many different things you can do. And I am like actually pretty passionate about it. I don't think it's going to be like fun because the mortgage type of stuff, it's very compliance oriented and very sales oriented, and being able to build a relationship with people, understanding their needs, even telling them like, dude, this deal is not good for you, I wouldn't recommend it. I feel like a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people don't have their best I don't want to say a lot of people don't have the best interest of the clients. at heart, but I want to say that it's very conflicting, right? Like if you have a client, you know, their financial situation is a bit suspicious in the sense that, you know, they're not bringing in a lot of money, and they, let's say they only take home 5K, and it's you know, a family of three brothers and you know, a wife or something, and then there's getting a mortgage for like 4K a month or 3K a month. Some people might just be like, all right, cool, done, let's go. But then you got to ask the client the hard questions, like, hey, you know, does your brother plan on moving out soon? Like, does your brother, is he going to live with you? Is he going to get married and leave the country? Are you going to expect him to still be responsible to pay for this? What if both your brothers leave and it's just you and your wife? Can you still afford 4K? And a lot of people live like in rosy situations, and they don't ask these difficult questions or even help simulate, like, well, what if rates go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5%? Can you still hold it down? I feel like the industry is geared that way because obviously you only get paid if the deal goes through, but at the same time you want to make sure that each deal you do is kind of solid, is standing on solid grounds, is bulletproof, and your client's going to be okay, and your deal's going to be good, and your reputation is maintained. And I feel like a lot of people sometimes don't live up to that. I know a lot of people talk about the Brampton mortgage. I don't know why they say Brampton mortgage, but it could be any mortgage that's questionable with numbers that are questionable. I've heard of a variety of schemes, but if you read on Reddit, you see a lot of it has to do with, you know, paying a few points to the broker, to the bank, to everyone involved, and then you can set up like a whole financial, you can paint a financial portrait to say, oh yeah, you know, I am a very successful XYZ and I make ABC in take home revenues. Here's my historicals. Here's the, you know, the tax slips, or, you know, the direct deposit proof, or the employment letter, and voila, I'm good, you know? So these are things that you gotta be aware of. But a lot of people are like, oh, you know, the Brampton mortgage is going to be the end of real estate. That's what's going to really put a nail in the coffin. And I like to think that it's not true. I think most people who go through that channel are people who do have the cash. They just don't declare it. But now they are going to be declaring it because now they have to pay their mortgage, right? Because you'd be stupid to be making money and not declaring it to any government authority, but you're paying your mortgage. You're just leaving a paper trail, which is kind of stupid. So do not do that. Every dollar you earn, you should pay your taxes like a good goddamn Canadian citizen, okay? But anyways, so these type of people, when they have, well, typically, traditionally, you can't just go to a bank and say, yeah, you know, my family, this guy does cash job cleaning, this guy does cash job catering, this lady does you know, beauty work, beauty salon services. It's all cash. We pull in like 6K a month, but on paper they only make 1,000. So these type of people do these dumb systems where they do fraudulent stuff and try to claim that they make XYZ, and then they get their mortgage and they'll pay their mortgage. They're always going to pay because they have the means to pay. It's just the bank doesn't put respect on them because obviously there's nothing to respect. On paper, they have zero income. So the banks are like, go F yourself, you know? I'm not saying the Brampton mortgage is good. I'm just saying the Brampton mortgage does not mean, or if there's a prevalence or a lot of people with the Brampton mortgage, I'm saying that I wouldn't be worried that, oh, all of these are going to default and they're not going to play. And you'd have to be stupid, right? Like, you know, to buy a house, you need a down payment, my dude. So if you're buying a house for $1 million and you need 20%, that means you guys pitched in and saved up 200K from various sources. Are you really going to go gamble like an idiot and try to lose the house in 3 months if you can't pay? You know, you would never do that. So anyways, having said all of that, let's see where that goes. I'm not sure if I'm going to pull the trigger. It really depends on the timing of things and if I can pull it off. And, you know, $1,400 is still a lot of money to just blow if you're not gonna go through with it and do the exam, pass the exam all within 90 days. So TBD. Let's see what happens. Let's go through Reddit, see what's up, what's happening on the Reddit world. I actually saw some like crazy video about the Tesla driving tests that like it blew my mind. Like it's like a test, like a little scenario. Let me make myself a little bit bigger here. Yeah, so it's like a little scenario where it's like you see how efficient the Tesla is in driving into pedestrians, like how it could stop so quickly. And in this case, it's like a child, you know, there's no distractions, it's just like right there, and they're giving it a test like to see if it stops in time. Let's see how crazy this is. It's like bam, goddamn. And look, the other car, it stops, but the Tesla doesn't. So I wonder what happened. Maybe Tesla don't like kids because they're not paying customers. I have no idea. Or maybe just Tesla, like, you know, it's not programmed for that. You got to pay for the autopilot service, and only then it would stop. I have no idea. I've never owned a Tesla. I've heard all kinds of stuff about Teslas too. Like, I haven't heard bad things. I mean, look, we can just look it up right now, right? Year on year, Tesla comes up as the most fault-prone, unreliable car manufacturers thanks to feedback from current owners. Consumer Reports still rank Tesla reliability 27 out of 28. Okay, let's see this. Hotcars.com. If you spend most of your life driving gas-powered cars, blah, blah, blah. Dead last Tesla reliability rating. Are Tesla's reliable cars? Tesla has steadily improved, but it still ranks poorly. Whatever, you get the drift. So I don't know why people pay top dollar for Tesla. It's kind of embarrassing. I guess it's like I mean, the tech is amazing. The leader is you know, very inspirational, but at the same time, it's like, come on, man. You got to know where the value is, and you know where the value is. It's in the Toyota Corolla. Toyota Corolla's bulletproof. I'm not just saying this because I'm an accountant. Anyways, if I had the chance, I would definitely buy a Tesla. I just don't have money to burn. So, oh no, what is happening? Oh, everybody was celebrating. So Canada Housing is the most hilarious page I've ever been on. They really want real estate to crash and burn. The general message there is real estate is not a commodity. It's not an investment property. It should be cheap. It should be accessible. Everyone should be able to have the home of their dreams at you know, with whatever wage they're making. That's generally the premise. Maybe I'm overgeneralizing, but someone just said, am I the only one who feels there's a slight uptick in price? Oh no, is the market not crashing anymore? Oh, so sad. So look, Canada Housing, look, yeah, maybe look, before you hate on me, before you say, oh my god, this guy is such a, you know, such a prick, I'll read what they say, and then we can go through a few of their posts. Canada Housing. Updated news about Canada's housing crisis. We want common sense housing laws that ensure transparency, ample housing stock, and sustainable price appreciation. Also, Canadians can find a decent home to live in. Honestly, that is a great message, and I 100% agree. So let's see what's going on. David Rosenberg. This guy is a clown. He's always saying that the world is going to end. Roof is about to cave in on the Canadian economy. So this is what this guy is saying. Let's see. Let's see the comments, though. Shaky housing market and high household debt point to a more pronounced recession than many are calling for. Our analysis indicates that a reversion to the mean with respect to the housing-related consumption expenditures and residential investment would lead to a 1.4% drop in real GDP. Keep in mind, this is a best-case scenario, since a pullback after years of excess typically leads to such measures growing through the mean to the downside. Okay. A stark reminder that our economy is a Ponzi scheme that has to keep growing or the roof caves in. I mean, I wouldn't say that the roof caves in, but you do want your economy to keep growing. There's nothing wrong with that. And then someone's like, capitalism. True, but not much of a point since Canadian housing is already one of the worst examples of it. This person says, I honestly think there's going to be an epic collapse of everything, and from there we'll rebuild. People can't afford to do anything anymore. It's not even worth trying to prop up this for the supposed winners. That's an interesting point of view. Like, I get it. I do get it. Like, a lot of people are working. Like, for those who are working their ass off, like, imagine, you know, let's do, someone's working 15 hours, 40 hours a week, times 4. They're pulling in 2,400. Take home, let's say, is 1,560 after taxes. Then there's not much to work with, right? Like 1,560. If you're trying to live in a one bed by yourself, that's, you know, I think I'm being generous here by even putting $1,000, but forget it. Let's say you're living a roommate situation, and I mean, yo, who wants to live in a roommate situation? If you're 45, there's no way in hell you're gonna make it. Like, you're probably gonna have to do 2 jobs because the rent would probably be 1,300 for a one bed in some random place. Not much to really work with. God damn, was I pulling on too hard on the taxes there? Wait, let's see. Tax calculator. 2022. I don't know. Say EY. EY has an amazing tax calculator. So let's say you're pulling in you're $15 an hour times 40 times 2 times, you get paid every 2 weeks, 26.1. Oh my god, that's nothing. 30k. God damn, fuck, I don't even know if it's worth doing a calculation for 30k. If you're making 30k, you probably are really struggling. So let's say 30,000. And let's say you live in good old Ontario. You have 26.7, so let's say 27,000 round number. So 27,000. Oh my god, 27,000 divided by 12. It's like a bit over 2. So you got 2 grand in your pocket. So if you got 2 grand and you're paying like 1,500 for rent, you got 750, and then 750 for food. With the cost of food is ridiculous. So let's say you got $200 for gas. So let's say $200 for, yeah, $550 for food. I mean, someone incredibly cheap like me and simple could probably pull it off. Like, I would just go straight to Costco, buy grilled chicken for the week, $20, buy some rice and buy some veggies, and my meals would be like 25 bucks, and I'll literally eat that chicken 2 times a day with cereal and I'll be good, you know. But that is not life. That is not living. That is like living like you know, prison sentence. So I don't think it's I don't think it's really doable. Some people are of the position that, okay, well, you know, you're making 30k, it's not meant to be a living wage. Like, you shouldn't be living off of 30k. It's an entry level wage. So for like people in high school, but you as an adult, you should have went through like school or vocational school, university, and you should be making something like, you know, $25 to $30 an hour. So let's say you're making $27, then times 40, then times 2, then times 26.1, you should be making like 55k. And then things get a bit more reasonable. You know, if you put in 56k, then you would get take home income of 47. Then you do 47,000 divided by 12. You have take home income of 3,900 minus whatever rent is. Let's say it's $2,000. Then you got $1,900 to spend. And hopefully you don't have kids. But if you have kids, then, you know, you're getting support from the government. It really comes down to how you're spending. Like, I'm obviously oversimplifying things. Like, people who have to send their kids to daycare to be able to go to work, I think they're getting nickel and dimed for daycare, even though there's like $8 a day daycare. I think nobody has access to it, so it's ridiculously expensive. So I can sympathize with people who say stuff like, oh, I just want everything to end, we need to have a fresh restart. But that's never gonna happen. There's never gonna be a fresh restart. There's people like me and all the people that I know that are making like 6 figures or more in their fields as engineers or CPAs or doctors or lawyers or engineers. Those guys are not going anywhere, you know. and they're saying that they're hiring people who are getting paid really well too, to do work that must have made half of what it's making today a few years ago. So I feel like a lot of people are eating, but the most vocal people tend to be on Reddit. And you know, you could feel their pain sometimes. So someone's like, oh, you could pay a down payment for a 1-bedroom condo in Milton, or you can get your private pilot's license 10 times over. Getting a pilot like has never been considered cheap, but it's usually been half the cost of a down payment on a small house, not 1/10 on a 1-bedroom condo. I don't know what this guy's saying. All right, so let's see what's going on here. Economy's exposure to real estate market is near all-time high, with real estate as a share of disposable income at a rate of 563%, and a share of new mortgages with variable rates at 55%. 55% of new mortgages are variable. According to CMHC, 53% of mortgages in the second half of 2021 were variable as compared to the first half. So I believe 55 makes sense. Yeah, that's okay. People who have variable mortgages are not gonna default. Like, I don't think that's gonna happen. This housing recession would be the best thing to happen for the Canadian economy. I really don't think so. Yes, but no. Subprime crisis, USA 2008. Canada's in that situation, but worse. Sure, houses might be cheap, but what good is that if your job is gone or your investments tank? Bank stocks and REITs especially. Unless you're all in on cash, then yes, you're good. I mean, this guy's an idiot. If you're all in on cash, you're losing 6-7% every, like, due to inflation. And if you're invested in banks or REITs, I mean, you didn't really get hit. I mean, a good example is that, like, I don't know, this is a good ETF that I've been investing in. Like, at this year to date, okay, it's down 15%. Okay, it's kind of bad. Whereas inflation was like close to like 8-9%. So if you're all in cash at the beginning of the year, then yeah, maybe you're fine. But it's a stretch, you know. People who invest, you're not investing on a short time horizon. You're investing usually on a long-term horizon, so you don't really care. Anyways, so there's that. So what else are these guys saying? My friends at the Canada Housing. Someone in Toronto is renting out a basement that looks like it's out of a horror movie. Okay, let's see what the hell this is. I mean, is that a turntable? Or, oh, okay, again, no, that's like a portable heater, like a portable portable cooking station with a little sink there. I mean, you go down the stairs. Oh, it's a shower. Yeah, shower looks kind of nasty. I mean, really, it's not that bad. I mean, I'm saying it's not that bad because these people have not seen the world. Like, I've traveled and I've seen bad places, but I guess I shouldn't be trying to bring third world standards here, but this is actually not that bad. The paint is ugly as F. If they just did everything white, including the stairs and this, and just put some light here, redo the tiling for the shower. And this, I mean, obviously it sucks, but it's a small kitchen space. I guess you're not supposed to be cooking up a storm. It's just supposed to be like for a single guy or a student to be in and out. But it's not that bad. Like, people need to chill the fuck out. Let me see what they say in the comments. Nobody says anything. Okay, this surprised the hell out of me. I read this today and it says City of Toronto to increase development charges 46%. I don't know why they would do this, because A, any increase in costs is going to be passed to the consumer, and B, if the prices are too high for the consumer, then there's not going to be any developments happening at all, because obviously the builders are going to say, F it, there's not enough demand. But in this story, they say housing to rise 46% over the next 2 years. A representative of the development industry and a housing advocate are warning that a recent decision by Toronto City Council to raise the cost of new building housing could further squeeze the city's supply and result in less affordable housing. 100%. Developers building a single detached or semi-detached home will pay an additional $43K above the current rate of $94K. So if you or you know, even if you buy a shitty home, a fixer upper, and you say, look, there's all kinds of building code violations in here, I want to tear it down and build a new one, they're gonna ask for $150,000. Like, what the hell? The charge for constructing a condo with 2 or more bedrooms will go up to 77, go up 35k from 77, so that's 100k. What are they thinking? Like, this is crazy. How is this good for anybody? And it's just cementing the fact that if these prices go up, the most vulnerable are not going to be able to pay. Like, who is winning here apart from people who have deep pockets? So I don't understand the cost of this. Raising the cost of building to pay for growth. The city of Toronto says the increase is based on a provincial mandate that growth should pay for growth, meaning that development charges and other fees, including parkland dedication rates and community benefit charges, should cover the cost of infrastructure required to accommodate new residents. I have a hard time believing that. It's not like, okay, oftentimes when you're pulling in new pipelines and everything, it's the developer that pays for everything up front anyways. So I don't understand how they're saying, I find it hard to believe. The city says it took a balanced approach by breaking the increase down into 2 increments and by exempting purpose-built rental housing. Oh, okay, that's good. And inclusionary zoning projects from the fee increase. So if you're building an affordable rental property or just rental homes, then I guess it's going to be, you're not going to be subject to these crazy changes. But if you're building homes to live, then that's another story. Okay, so that's interesting. So today I saw some crazy stuff. I saw that Donald Trump, the legendary Donald Trump in the US, had put out a video. Like, his offices got raided this morning by the FBI because they said he took documents that he shouldn't have taken out of the White House when he was leaving, instead of giving it to the National Archive. And today he like posted a video saying like, oh yeah, you know, America has gone to shit, blah blah blah. And you know, his tagline wasn't America, make America great again, but it's like the greatness should be brought back or something like that. And I mean, I don't want to give a platform to what he said specifically, but because, you know, I want to be impartial in terms of this political stuff, especially in the US. Like, it doesn't really impact me. So I mean, it could impact me because obviously the US is our neighbor, is my neighbor. But let me see if I can find if it's still up. Hold on. All right, so this is what I was talking about. Let me hit the play button.
We are a failing nation. We are a nation that has the highest inflation in over 40 years.
Okay, I'm not gonna play this, like it's not even worth it, but like what's up with the gloomy vibes? Like, it's like a Gotham vibe, like it's just dark, rainy. I feel like it's like the beginning of a Batman trailer, you know, and I don't get it. I don't know why he's doing that. But what I found hilarious in all of this is
we are a nation where free speech is no longer allowed, where crime is
like, come on, man. Free speech is allowed. Everybody's on Twitter right now. It's just you, my guy, who couldn't get on Twitter because, you know, Twitter said you've been messing around too much. Let's see what else is going on Reddit. On Reddit. Oh, this is obviously the anti-work group. One of my other favorite groups that I like to visit, and sometimes gives me laughs and sometimes I can mess with what these people are saying. But yeah, I mean, look, if Starbucks is unionizing and they don't like it, then they should just stop the people from unionizing by giving them zero reason to unionize, you know? Give them good wages, flexible hours, and, you know, put some respect on them, you know? Like, obviously you need these people. They're so key to sell, unless, like, all of this is going to incentivize Starbucks to suddenly pivot towards, like, robots making everything and just have someone cleaning the place. I mean, it needs to be a good balance, right? So there's that. Saw that was cool. And Oh, this is it. God damn. That's crazy. So today morning, Trump's Mar-a-Lago home got raided because they say that he allegedly brought documents that he shouldn't have brought back to his house. And in front of his house, I guess like supporters are driving around to show like, yeah, you know, Trump, we got your back type of thing. And this guy was out there holding signs like calling Trump a pussy or calling his supporters pussies. Man, people are so divisive. God damn. They're blowing up condos in Asia, in China, I'm pretty sure. Because what? There's no interest? There's no buyers? That one's struggling. Oh my god. Yo, what is the story behind this? Oh wow. Apparently the project was abandoned for 10 years. So that's why all of that is happening. That's crazy.
Oh, look out. Wow, that is a tough kid right there.
Hey, Jarvis, and hit his helmet.
So this is really cool because as a pitcher, Bubs looks shaken up right now because of what he did. And look at Zay Jarvis. This is such great sportsmanship. He wants him to know that it's okay, that he'll be fine.
Hey, bud. Look at me.
Man, that's incredible. That's good energy, good parenting, good sportsmanship. Gotta respect that. Anyways, I'm going to sign off. I just wanted to jump on, you know, let the algorithm know that I'm alive, and we'll see what happens in the next few days. Keep you all in the loop. For my Palantir friends, oh, I'm feeling for you. I mean, I'm feeling for myself too, but I sell covered calls to keep things afloat, but still, it's rough out there, so hang in there. And, you know, make sure you do your own critical thinking. I've got to listen to the call. Didn't listen to the call yet, but a lot of people were like, oh, Alex Karp was so smug. He was like, fuck shareholders, I don't give a fuck about the price. But, like, that's how you should be in a way. Like, you shouldn't care about short-term price reactions. Should be focused on building shareholder value, which I think he's still doing. And it might not be at the pace that people like, but the business is moving and it's marching forward. All right, I'm gonna let you go. Talk to you soon.